Cheese. He's really the only one that matters here around the studio. I mean, I matter too because we keep the lights on, but you know, we do it all for him. This week we have a custom keychain that I am making for a friend for his son. He has a tattoo of something from a band he likes, and she's having me make a keychain for him for his birthday. So she wants to sniff my stinky coffee breath. Bro loves a stinky mouth. It's his favorite thing maybe in the entire world. He loves a stinky mouth. He's stinky, stinky boy. He loves all the stinky things in the world. The purpose of these vlogs is to show like the real life aspect of being an artist as well as being an artist. I had a breakthrough around identity and play last week, realizing that like the process videos are really fun. I have those in the queue. That's part of what I'm editing. They're a lot of work to put together and they require an end result and an end product, which I'm not opposed to. I'm not opposed to having things to sell to you guys, and just the nature of the beast is that, you know, I have to sell my goods in order to live and like continue making my goods. You know, silver is expensive. I have to buy more. I do that through selling it to you, and I'm hoping that I'm selling it to people who resonate with it, and it's not like you feel like it's going to make your life better in any kind of like materialistic way. It's more like you resonate with the art and you see the value in the beauty of it, rather than like the trying to be like your friends kind of way. I don't know. Marketing, like I'm still kind of deconstructing some of the marketing programming and just that like predatory, like convincing people to buy my art. Still like kind of navigating my way out of the weeds on that, but I feel empowered. I printed this out. I'm going to turn this into a piece of brass. Let's do it.
Hi, sweet cheesy.
It's engaged. I think a big part of my creative process is sun time. It's like I can't work on the next thing until the glue dries. So I'm just gonna lay in the sun. Cheese really embodies like my higher self sometimes. Like I want to be doing that all day, every day, but with like a Kindle in my hand, you know? He's living my dream. Got the keychain all built. She's cleaned up as much as she's gonna be, and then I'm gonna tumble it overnight. Something about the tumbling helps prevent a lot of that like over oxidation. So I'm gonna tumble it overnight and then I'll engrave it later this week. I'll just say it. This is the fastest that I've been able to make a custom in so long. I got the whole thing pretty much fabricated and assembled in less than a day. Things are changing around here. This is my new favorite pastime. Kayak, land sitting, kitty cat in my armpit, Kindle in my hand. I had a job interview today. You're looking at somebody who could potentially be a new gallery assistant at the art center in my town. So I did that this morning, and then I went to a coffee shop and I did a little animation that you probably saw at the beginning of this video. Ooh, I made that myself. I have some fabric stuff I want to do. I have a sewing class I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to be making a crib quilt for a family member who's having a baby. So I'm not sure. I might do some designing today. I don't know if you can hear any of this. The wind is winding. And my cat is catting. My Kindle's about to be kindling. And I'm just going to take a minute and just bask in my utterly free life. Like, I have nowhere to be. Boom. The last couple days I've been putting together a garden. I went online and I ordered some seeds, and I came up with a plan, and I've been wanting to do this garden for like as low cost as I can, just as like a challenge. What can I find that will be suitable for raised garden beds? And so we felled a tree actually on Earth Day. We felled like 4 of them. Some were dead, some were like being destructive, so we had to get rid of them. And I used the logs for my raised garden beds. Let me show you. Boom, we have 1, we have 2, let me see, 2, and I have 3. Boom, yeah. I have worked my butt off. I have gotten major sunburn on my back, and I am ready to actually put seeds in the ground. So here are my seeds. Here are my seeds. I'm gonna put them in the ground right now, basically. And we will watch together over the next few months things come to life. Peas, they're good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. Everyone is planted. We have burdock in this. I built this because I wanted to be able to easily disassemble it to harvest the burdock roots. Kale, bok choy, and calendula. Peas, radishes, lettuce, arugula. And then there's nasturtiums everywhere. There's calendula everywhere. And then I accidentally dropped my bag of poppy seeds right here. So I kind of swept them over there and tried to evenly thin them out along there. Sprinkled a little along this crack, along this and that. Just try to fill it with like flowers. And then I might move my foxtail over here later. And we're gonna fill this with dirt and flowers like next month. Something really big happened today, actually. I got a job! Yeah, I was doing the whole like self-employed, full-time artist thing for a long time. And it's not to say that I won't go back to doing that at some point, you know, when the time is right. But I've just been looking for a way to get out of the house, get into the community, do something with my time, at least like a part-time situation. And I found something and it worked out good. I am going to be the gallery attendant at my local fine art center. Teach classes to adults and children. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm really excited just being in my community, helping the local art scene be a thing. Like, we're never gonna be a big city art scene, which is fine because we're not a big, the wind blew the door closed. Tomorrow and Saturday, I'm taking a sewing class. I'm gonna learn how to use my machine better and how to sew clothing, and we'll see what happens with that. I just, at the very least, like, I'm excited to learn more.
Sometimes I end up taking my pattern.
Oh no, it's just a little bit of a challenge, and challenges are good. Yeah.
Just got home from day 1 of a sewing class. I went in with some fabric and a dream, and I'm gonna leave with like the funkiest shirt you've ever damn seen. So use an overlocking machine, serger sewing machine, which finishes the edges of your seams so that everything is just like in place and it's really clean and it doesn't fray. And I will be buying one eventually. That is something that I really want now. What I was doing that was taking a really long time is now taking minutes, because I'm not having to sew all my seams twice. We got done kind of earlier than I was anticipating. Goat head keychain that I worked on earlier this week. I'm gonna finish the engraving on that. I'd like to get this delivered like next week. You guys are gonna watch me engrave this real quick, okay? It's not gonna take that long. Well, I did it. I engraved the entire thing in one day. There's one thing about stippling, which is like the background, like making that background look the way it does, like all like dotted, you know, or like stippled. Lock in. Lock the fuck in. Put on a podcast and just don't think about how miserable it is. Because good God Almighty, it just takes a long time. Oh, sweet kitty, sweet, sweet kitty. He's gonna dig his claws into my leg when he jumps up here. So be envious that you don't have this little man as your baby cat. Oh! Ow! One of my goals this year was to learn how to make my own clothes, like sew my own clothing. I'm kind of on this like no buy or very minimal buy year where I'm just really trying to reestablish a more grounded relationship with consumption, seeing the clothing that I have as good enough, and then the clothing that I desire, learning how to make it and feeling empowered and like learning a new skill. So I have a couple things to show you. First things first, I'm obsessed with pants. I always feel like I can never find the pants of my dreams, and I'm bent on making the pants of my dreams. And I think we got one step closer. These pair of pants, they are the Topo pants by Leela Makes. I did it in like a black duck canvas and I love them. I'm obsessed with them. They're like a drawstring, elastic waistband kind of situation. I modified the pattern a little bit by doing like a full seat adjustment so my butt can fit in it better and to fit me correctly. And I'm obsessed with them. The second thing I'm gonna show you guys actually is a shirt that I made this weekend. I took a sewing class at a local tailor alteration studio. They have like a storefront in the front and then like a whole like studio workshop in the back, and they host classes. So it was the kind of class where you like come in with an idea and they may help you make it come to life. And this time I got to use a serger for the first time ever. Oh my God. Ah! Just gonna put it on. It's not quite finished yet. I still have to do the buttons, but imagine this buttoned up like so. And yeah, I learned how to make this from an article of clothing that already exists. I kind of did the patchwork together and sewed it all together and made it fit. I did the collar, kind of customized the collar situation, did a mandarin collar. So I thought that would be really interesting, something I don't own already. I don't have anything with a mandarin collar. And I learned so much, and it's kind of like the craziest thing I own. Like the cats and all the colors are like literally crazy, but I'm obsessed. You're looking at somebody who, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of the 5 articles of clothing that I'm wearing, including my underwear, 2 of them I made from scratch. You're looking at somebody who knows how to sew. Son of my dogs. She's decided to join me. Little bubba cat. He's not allowed to sit on my lap because he's gonna make biscuits on my skin, and I just don't really feel like being in pain. There used to be a time when I could just start 500 projects on my bench at the same time, and that is just not who I am anymore. If at any point I can be a lesson for somebody else in their art journey, I'm just gonna share the story. I think like your creativity really is a muscle that you flex. And I think that there is a balance between like finding the flow of what feels right to create and like taking a break when you're burnt out and not taking it so seriously. Like I'm attempting to like design some jewelry, and it's been really challenging. When I was at the height of doing left-handed alchemy full-time, I could sit down and make anything. Like I just had ideas. I had an abundance of ideas. I could sit down and just like crank out a bunch of stuff, and I could have a million things churning on my bench at the same time, and it wasn't overwhelming. I had like a system, and I've taken too much time off, I fear, in that this is really difficult. I have so many things I could do that it feels a little crippling, and I don't know where to start. What I have recently experienced with drawing and painting is that it's a muscle. It's something that you just start doing and it gets easier. A couple vlogs ago, I shared some painting process. And at the beginning of the week, when I was just sitting down and like smushing paint around on some paper, I was being really critical of myself and how I was showing up. And the perfectionist aspect of all of it would stop making a painting once it wasn't perfect anymore. I realized that there's so much power in finishing the painting, so I was forcing myself to just start things, and even when I got to the point where I thought it was ugly, I just finished it. That forward momentum pushed me to the next idea, which pushed me to the next idea, and now a few weeks later, I've built up momentum, and I'm able to sit down in my sketchbook and create ideas from nothing, from maybe a thread of inspiration that I found on Pinterest or from Instagram or somewhere that I've seen, but I can transform it into something of my own very easily. And I'm finding that maybe I'm back at that beginning place with jewelry again. And it's time to have a sit-down conversation with you guys. Be real. I'm going to put on my serious hat while we have this conversation. I crocheted over a felt cowboy hat that I found on Amazon. If anyone would like to make one for themselves, you just kind of figure it out as you go. There's no pattern. Also, the way that this clip made my hair fall, I'm stunning right now. I'm not trying to like be weird about it, but like the weirdest, most beautiful person you've ever seen. Oh, he smells like the dust outside. He's so stinky and I love him. I'm going to share with you guys my feelings about life on this beautiful Monday evening. Today was my first day of work. I have a job now. I'm a gallery assistant at my local fine arts center. And it's actually, so far, it's pretty fun. And I'm feeling myself wanting to fall into an old pattern. And this is what we're going to talk about. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to navigate this. This isn't like a, this is what you do when you feel yourself falling into old patterns kind of chat. This is more like I'm telling you what I'm experiencing, and then like I'll share the outcome as life happens. This is a video journal between me and anybody who's watching it publicly on the internet. Because those of you who don't know, I was professionally a jeweler for like 8 years. I loved it for a long time. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It was genuinely so very fun. And it's what I genuinely very wanted to do. And it's one of those things that when I was in it, I could not see the reality of the situation. But now that I am out of it and I'm like many years, removed from this whole thing, I can see things so differently. And when I started doing jewelry full time, I had been graduated from college, I had gone to art school, and I was a workhorse. I found so much value in work, and I also found a lot of value in other people's opinions of me. It's pretty much all that mattered to me, was how I was perceived by others. For a long time, what I would do is I would go on Instagram and I would look at other artists and other jewelers and other brands, and I would try and copy what they were doing, but with my own thing. Like, I would find marketing advice that would tell me to find my favorite artists and kind of emulate what they're doing and try and like achieve their level of success. I was constantly comparing myself to what other people were doing and taking away from any of the accomplishments that I was doing. And some of the collections that I was trying to make were essentially not copies, because it would be like my own thing, but I would be heavily inspired by other people's art and then be very, very disappointed when it wasn't received the same way that their audience was receiving their art, because it was like their thing. You could tell that they had spent many years developing their style and developing these designs, and it was their thing. They were known for these things. And I was very, very, very critical of myself through this whole process. I was so serious about what I was doing, because it really was the difference between like paying bills and not paying bills. Because for some reason, I just refused to get a big girl job and just go and get like a job checking out people's groceries just to like pay the bills and then make art in my free time and let it be something that was like fun and like from my heart, I had no concept of like heart-centered living at this time. It was very much like fight or flight. And I actually kind of really enjoyed being constantly stressed out. Like if I'm being so for real with you guys. But then I've mentioned it in like every freaking video that I make, healing journey, you know, go on a healing journey. Kind of realize like, I don't want to keep living this way. If I have to keep living this way, I'm probably not going to live very long. Go on a healing journey, do a bunch of EMDR, heal my nervous system. And I go through this like artist block that influences me to like slow down and take a step back. But instead of like being grounded about it, I'm like trying to make it work, and by over consuming Instagram and constantly comparing myself and like trying to make something work, while also having like an intuitive knowing deep down that I need to like go do something else. Like go get a part-time job and like chill the fuck out, calm down. I didn't do it until now. It took me years to finally get to the place that I'm at now. And I have the part-time job and it was so fun. My job is hanging pictures and paintings in a gallery and sitting in a gallery and like talking to people about art. It's awesome. I'm adjacent to a coffee shop that I really like. It's awesome. Like literally could not be a better fit for who I am and what I'm looking for. 20, 25 hours a week, not that time consuming. I spend about that much time normally freaking right off. So I will be rather busy here in the upcoming weeks and months, but like busy in a kind of way where it's like I have something to do. Like I have a job, and then in my free time I get to rest. Like I get to read still and rest when I need to and when I want to. But I also like was fueled tonight. Instead of freaking off and watching the hockey game that I don't care about, I finished my shirt and I sewed on my buttons. The issue at hand that I'm feeling now is like I have finally done it. I have done the thing. I have gotten the job. I have gotten out of my house. I've gotten out of my bubble. I've gotten my head out of my own ass, because really she was shoved right up there for a long time. My head's out of my ass. I'm seeing the world again. And I'm feeling myself wanting to go right back up my keister. I feel my head just wanting to like, no, it was warm up there. And it's uncomfortable. And I feel like a coil in my belly starting to tighten, because I'm like, oh no, like what time am I going to have to make a new jewelry collection? I could calm down and take my time developing something very cool. But alas, I am sitting here today, here on day one of my brand new big girl job, feeling like I'm not doing enough. Like I'm stressed because, oh no, now all of a sudden I don't have time. But before today, like honestly yesterday, I wasn't even really that inspired to make jewelry. And so I spent the evening yesterday looking at my bench and looking at my gemstones and kind of just recognizing how much has really changed in a way that's like, I'm very grateful for what has changed, but also when you don't use it, you kind of lose it. When you do not use your artistic creative channel in a certain way, sometimes the flow and the ease at which you called upon that creative expression is not as easy when you've taken a break. It's just the way that it is. And I do think I talked about this a little bit already, but I experienced the resurgence of my drawing practice in the last couple of weeks, and it has been so fun and so fulfilling. I struggled for a while in developing my drawing practice because I was resisting myself and trying to take it all way too seriously. What I'm trying to say is those first couple of days of developing my drawing practice and like sitting down and forcing myself to finish work was really difficult, and it was very uncomfortable, and I felt like quitting more often than not, and I made a lot of really bad art. And I'm experiencing the same thing with jewelry. I'm going to Montana to visit my brother-in-law, and it's his birthday. We're gonna have a good old time, and I'll be gone for like 4 days. I'm finding myself thinking that I need to make a jewelry collection and go for multiple runs and make multiple YouTube videos and clean the entire house and do all this laundry and do all these things that I could have done already, but also are not urgent. They do not need to be done until after I get back there. I guess the point of this right now is to just recognize like we're in a new timeline. We're on a new timeline with new opportunities to show up differently. I get to make art because it's fun again, not because I have to do it to eat. I get to make art for fun. It gets to be fun. It gets to be something that I do because I'm channeling the designs from my being. Whether they're good or bad, I don't care. And I'm recording this before I've really started to do any of that. You know, I'm just sitting here like recognizing the discomfort and that I'm on a new timeline and things get to be easy, things get to be fun, and I am trying to go back to things being not easy and fun. I'm trying to go back to things being hard and chaotic and stressful. And don't get me wrong, sometimes things are going to be hard and chaotic and stressful, and that's just like how the cookie crumbles. Not everything's going to be easy all the freaking time, but when I get to make the choice, like when I get to actively make the choice whether or not to make something harder than it needs to be, I need to actively make the choice to make it easier and create those neural pathways that tell my, like, that make the ease of life the option. And reflecting on the past has me recognizing that I spent so much time wishing I was somewhere else that I couldn't really appreciate where I was at. And I don't necessarily regret it because it led me to where I am now. I needed to experience that deep ungratefulness to experience the deep gratefulness. I don't know. But it was just a reminder that it's, you know, the attitude of gratitude is always something to embody. Even if you're at your lowest, there's something to be grateful for. It can be the smallest thing. And the more that you focus on the things that you're grateful for, the more you will have to be grateful for. Well, it sounds like that damn new age woo-woo bullshit, but it's true. Oh, it's so true. Because the thing about happiness is that it's not a constant state, but it is this combination of joy and gratitude, that the more that you cultivate joy and gratitude, the more you will live just like a generally happy life. And from my own personal experience, I can say that that is in fact true. I'm spinning my wheels a little bit again today because I could sit right there and tinker on this. I actually didn't quite get this finished. I have to engrave some words on the back. I just want to take a minute. I love this direction that my jewelry and art is taking. I feel like it perfectly blends my drawing practice and my engraving and jewelry practice together in a way that feels so empowering. Like every time I look at this, I just go, damn, that looks good. And I'm so excited to deliver it because I know they're going to love it. And it's just so exciting. And like, oh, this is the direction I want to go in. I need to stop trying to do something that's not authentic to me. That's part of the hang up that I'm currently experiencing with designing some jewelry, is trying to design a collection of jewelry for a customer base that I think it might be what they like, but it's not who I am as an artist. And like, I have to just accept that if I make a collection of art that is not acceptable for an opportunity I'm hoping to get, then it's just not meant to be. Like, what's for me won't miss. So anyway, guys, look what my mom got me for my birthday. Hi, it's gouache. I haven't opened any of them yet. I'm kind of scared of them. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the review said that they don't try out too bad as long as you keep the lid on it. But I'm gonna open them and draw a couple mystery drawings. So if you guys want a painting that I'm working on this week, or just in the future, your own mystery drawings, you can find that on my website. Aesthetic painting reveal. Let me turn my painting around for you guys. Oh, that was terrible. Let me turn my camera around so it looks better. I will put the reference up so you can see it. It's still a little wet. Oh, she's so cute. I've had multiple alcohols tonight, 4 to be honest, and 2 waters outside of the water that I had before I started drinking. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. I don't do this often, but when I do it.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think it's because I'm so dehydrated today. Yeah, I know.
Well, I don't believe it, and I want you out of here.
Like, on a real note, I'm notoriously bad at recording things and filming when I'm on vacation. I went to Montana. Yeah, it was fun. Went for my brother-in-law's birthday. Played pool, drank drinks, ate food, had a good time, hiked the M. It was good. The most aesthetic part of the whole thing, honestly, was the flight out of there. Flying over Wyoming was so beautiful. The mountains, amazing. Have never seen the Rockies from that perspective. So beautiful. Howdy. Okay, so it's May 5th, and it's the first, like, afternoon that I've had in my studio all of May. Yesterday, I came in here for, like, an hour, punch out some earrings. I was in Montana last week. I had some ideas for some earrings. I feel like I do this thing where I just like spontaneously start 500 things in one day, and then the next time I go and sit at my bench, I'm a little overwhelmed by how much I actually have to do. I'm kind of on mission finish projects. As you can see from my face, I've had my dust mask on, and I've been sanding. So I have a ring that I just kind of did like a final sand on. This snake, one-of-a-kind snake symbols pendant, I'll put a little gemstone on there and engrave it once it's all tumbled. Cleaned this up. I won't tumble this again. The only thing that was wrong with this pendant is that the bail fell off. So I resoldered the bail, but the engraving on the skull is still good. So I'll just save this in a different pile for when I patina everything. My little tray for my symbols pendants has dwindled a lot. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 stone settings that I've started. Really, one of them I'm gonna scrap because it's kind of shitty, but I have 4 stone settings that I have that could be finished, and I wanted to turn those into rings. Right now I'm about to start engraving. Many days making this item in my hands. You may be wondering, Sabina, what the actual hell is that? What is it? It's a rolling mill dust cover. I was really tired of dusting my rolling mill like every time I come in my studio because it's really dusty in here. I have a cat who's like a resident studio cat. He's dusty as hell. 2 birds, 1 stone. I wanted to learn how to quilt. I want to make like real quilt blankets. I've been knitting, I've been crocheting, and now I'm sewing, and I'm having a good time. And I thought, I want to learn how to do a quilt. I've basically made 5 mini quilts, sewed them all together into this like boxy bag. We started with this one. She kind of ugly, but you know, she cute because she here. Then this one. This is the one where I realized maybe I should Google some stuff about quilt blocks that exist, because I tried to make a sawtooth quilt block and it took about 7 times longer than it needed to. Didn't know there was a faster way to do it until I learned. And then I made this one, and it's kind of messed up. I sewed this piece on backwards. Oops. I wasn't gonna start over, but I learned from my mistake because then I made this one. Wow. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. That's a good one. This is a really good one. And then I made this one. This is a really good one. Wow. So good. And then I lined all of the panels with an old pillowcase, so it's like clean. I pinked the edges because that's basically this, so that it doesn't unravel and become like a stringy nightmare. And then I did the edges like you would a real quilt because I'm practicing so that I can make a real quilt. And look, this is my rolling mill. Meet old baby girl, Pepe. She's a good girl. She rolls out sheets of metal for me to make jewelry out of because these days silver is really expensive. I have so much silver on hand, like I might as well recycle it. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's what they say. We all learned that, did we not? I got baby girl to help with that process. And she's dusty. She mad dusty because of Dusty Boy. His government name is Cheese. And look at her. Look at her. I made this dust cover. Is it gigantic? Yeah. Does it not have much structure because it's a cotton sack? Yeah. Do I care? No, I'm so proud of myself. I made this.